Hey guys, and welcome. Now ignore my slightly dirty kitchen and apron, because I'm going to be teaching you how to out pizza the hut.
Now what you're going to want to do is start off with 1 cup of warm water, and to that you're going to add 1 packet or 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Put some sugar in it, mix it around till everything is nice and soaked, and place it to the side. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about our dough. Now what you're going to need for this is a large bowl, preferably one that isn't green. 1, 2, maybe there we go. 2.5 cups of bread flour, along with a bit of sugar and a pinch of salt. Mix all that together with a whisk till it's, well, mixed. Add in your yeast already. Mix that with your whisk until you realize how bad of an idea that is. Grab your spatula and do it again until you get this nice, kinda loose, shaggy dough. Alright, now it's time to flour our work surface. Get that all nice and spread out there, mix it around a bit, and struggle to get your dough out. Now all you're going to be doing here is just folding it into itself.
This process is called kneading.
Alright, so I had some other clips and then kinda got deleted it out, including this next clip which I beautifully reenact.
So after that, you're gonna get your bowl.
Oil it up, wipe it around with a paper towel or something, and you're gonna get your dough, place it in there, wrap it with plastic wrap, and put it in the fridge. I did it for 3 days.
And that's because the longer you leave it, the better it's gonna taste.
Whoa, would you look at that? It's been 3 days. Wow, time to start in your pizza again. So in a medium saucepan, you're gonna fill it up about halfway with water. After, you're gonna cover it with the lid and you're gonna place it over high heat till it starts to boil.
And now it's time for our tomatoes. You preferably need 5, 3 for now, 2 for later.
Now very carefully with a paring knife, you're gonna go around and you're gonna cut out the stem of each one. Now when that's done, you're gonna put a little cross section on the bottom and top of all the tomatoes.
And this is so that the skin can come off easier.
So when the water's ready, you're gonna put those in until the skin starts to peel, or about 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, now let's pull out our doughs. As you can see, it's kind of risen a bit. I'm not sure if you can tell. Alright, flour your work surface again. And yeah, struggle to get your dough out again.
Now what I'm doing here is that I'm cutting it in half. And that's because this is enough for 2 pizzas. I'm using a tool called a dough scraper that's made for this. Of course you can use a knife, but you just gotta be more careful. Anyways, I'm just gonna roll them back in the ball and let them rest for another hour or so.
Now that our tomatoes are ready, you're gonna take those out and you're gonna put them in a bowl, preferably with ice water. Make sure not to burn yourself and realize that your bowl is too small to hold all of them. And if you want to hurry this process up, you can put them under cold running water.
After you're done with that, you can take off the skin if you would like. Just remember that the skin gives it color. So after that's done, you're gonna want to pull out your cup with knives on the bottom.
Make sure that it's still warm and, not solid cold. Cover with the lid and pull out your blender that you just realized doesn't connect all the way to the port. So what you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to pulse it and not have it on all the way. Because if you do have it on all the way, then it's going to turn orange, and you don't want orange sauce. No one likes orange sauce. Alright, so in your medium saucepan, you're going to fill it with olive oil.
Swoosh that around. And now it's time for our next step. Cut an onion in half. And more of it cut out again. I know this is a very crappy video. So what we have is that we have finely chopped onions and minced garlic in the pan. And you're going to keep cooking and stirring those until they become scented. When it's ready, run over to put the sauce in. And make sure not to make a mess like what I did. By now the other 2 tomatoes should have been done boiling. Take them out and start cutting them. Quarter them and run your knife through the bottom to get all the seeds out. Of course you can leave the seeds in. I didn't want any seeds. Once you're done with that tomato, rinse and repeat with a nicer one that you have and start to slice them up. You want to get these as thin as you possibly can and make sure not to cut off your finger. After you're done with all that, you're going to turn them 90 degrees and you're going to start cubing them. Make sure you get all the pieces, and after that run your knife through them a few times so you can get them extra small. Just remember that the bigger you leave the pieces, the more chunkier the sauce is going to be. Once you're done with that, just go ahead and throw them in the sauce. After that, you can throw in a few leaves of basil if you want. Chop them up. You can chop them up as thick or as thin as you want. I don't really care. And just go and put that in your sauce. Next thing to do is to actually season it. This is in no particular order, but I went and put black pepper, salt, a pinch of oregano, just a pinch, paprika, and a few other things that I don't really care to remember, to be honest. Mix it all around with your big boy spoon and taste your seasoning. If something's off, then just fix it. Take a moment to clean your workspace because cleanliness is next to godliness. This is an optional step, but you can take your pot and you can put it in the oven so that the sauce can become thicker. But now it's time to talk about cheese. Here are some Jack mozzarella and cheddar. And what you're going to do is that you're going to mix equal portions of them and place them in the bowl. Now this is whole milk, low moisture mozzarella, which is really good for pizzas. But it's kind of hard to grate, so if you want, you can cut it instead. I almost sliced my hand off again, and I wouldn't recommend it. Now that your cheese is done, you just make a little butter garlic sauce. It's just garlic and butter. Come on, you didn't even explain it. Flour your table, pull out your dough, and start rolling it out. For some reason, I wrapped it with a paper towel. I don't really know why, but I did. Now it's time to shape the dough. Run your hands around the dough to make a crust. Stretch the dough just a little bit, pick it up, and let gravity do the work. Because why are you? Remember, there is no wrong way to stretch a pizza. Put it back on the table, put your hand in the middle, stretch the sides. You know what? Just have fun. That's the whole point of making pizzas, if I'm being honest. And the good food. Just keep going at it. Next step is to embrace your 3.5% Italian and throw the pizza into the air. Now I must admit, I have gotten better at this.
E forse anche parlare un po' italiano, sì? E forse poi sei una parla con gli italiani! E forse anche Marina con ravioli, sì?
What am I even doing? Why am I even making this crappy video? Anyway, the next step is to put cornmeal on your board, and that way the pizza can come off and on easier. Make any final adjustments that you need to, and start putting some sauce on. Put as much as you want on. I personally like my pizzas pretty saucy, but I know some people don't. Put it on there and try to spread it out as evenly as you can, as far as you can. Next step is to put some Parmesan cheese on there, preferably freshly grated. I didn't have any. And put on your cheese. I like a moderate amount of cheese. I don't like it too cheesy, but you can put as much as you want, as long as you grate more. After that, we're going to put on some pepperoni, preferably try to get some straight from the sausage. This is the middle of a pandemic, so they only had bagged pre-cut ones. And yeah, throw that in the oven. It should be done anywhere around from 10 to 15 minutes. Just make sure try not to burn it. As carefully as you can, try to put the peel under and lift it up, but be cautious because it can go bad fast. Try not to put on anything plastic because that can ruin the flavor and the board. Straight out of the oven, you're going to put the butter garlic sauce. Try to put a good layer on there. You can put some flaky salt on after if you want. I didn't have any at the moment. But try to get a really good shellac on that pizza. Look how nice and shiny that crust looks. You can't tell me you're not hungry right now. Come on. And there it is. Probably the best pizza known to man. Look at this. Ignore that. Look at this.
And that is how you almost saw Pizza the Hut.
Hello?